Okay, so if you are a software engineer or a team and you wonder how we use Rust for application in production, this video is for you. In this video, you will understand very quickly how this works, so Airbnb clone, and it uses only Rust for backend and frontend. And in this video, the goal for you is to understand, to have a global picture of what it looks like with the code. I will show you the code just after. So basically, this is the project that we build with our bootcamp. And by the way, if you want to see this, you just need to go on rustify.rs and you will have more info here. So you go inside Rust Bootcamp like this, and you will have all the info that you need. But it's not the topic of today. Today, what we want is to have a global picture of this. Okay, so let's start right away. So as you can see, we have a listing of different homes. Okay, and also when we go inside here, we have also a map. Okay, so exactly like Airbnb. So maybe the first thing that you wonder is how does it work in the database? So I will show you that first, and then I will show you how we connect the front end with the database. Okay. So if we focus on the code. So in a Rust project, usually what we use is a crate called SQLx. If you look inside cargo.toml like this, and if we look SQLx, you can see that I'm using SQLx version 0.8. Okay. And why we use this? Because we need to use this for the migrations. If you look at the migration here, you can see that we have different tables, okay? For instance, host, and it's basically just a SQL file. Okay, so very, very simple. What I did also is that I've seeded some random data, because if you look what we have here, all that you see here is just seed. Okay, so it's just random data. And it's populated when the migrations are applied. Okay. So very, very simple. In this migration, so we create the users. We create also a role access. This is non-mandatory, but usually this is what I do when I ship Rust in production for applications. Here we have the different home locations, also Africa, Antarctica, Asia, and so on. And we have also other tables. Okay, so nothing that complex. If we look maybe something a little more interesting, the reviews, for instance. Okay, so of course in Airbnb, in this clone also, we have some reviews. If you look at this, so if we look inside one, my network is very slow. Sorry. As you can see, so we have different reviews here. Okay. This is populated. If you look, so if I take this, for instance, my bad. And if you look here, you will see that this is populated inside the home reviews table. Okay. So exactly what I'm showing you right now. And it's very simple. It's just a SQL file. And this is also what is cool with Rust, is that you can have just a SQL file, normal SQL file, and you will have all the database directly inside your project. You are not dependent on Supabase or something else. You have everything in your particular project. So this is also the main advantage of using Rust. And here what I'm doing, very simple. So of course we want to have user unit also. We want also to have some numbers for this and some check. So basic SQL, and it works very, very fine. So this is the first layer. Okay. So if you understand a little more how it works for migrations, that's very good already. Usually what I do also is that I have shell script, which is resetDB, because you remind that I was telling you that I seed all the data inside the migration, as I've showed you just before. And what I want usually is that I just want to reset DB like this. It will reapply everything and it will reseed all the data because it's just dummy data. Okay. So this is what I do in general. And it's just a simple shell file resetDB where we export the Postgres password, and so on, the database. And this way, we remove all the data that we had inside the database, and we repopulate everything. Okay, but not very important. What you want to understand, I guess, is how we connect the front end and the database. So how we connect the front end here with the data that we have. So the way it works is very simple. So if we look now inside app, so inside domain, see that we have homes, okay, and we have review here, okay. So also what I do in general is that I have domain, okay, and here I was doing review outside of homes because we can have also review for if we look, we can have also reviews for experiences and services. So this is why I've done this way. Hopefully you understand. But what is more important is to understand how I do in general. Maybe it will help you to understand better. So usually what I do is that I have two files. Okay, so a DB file like this and also a services file. The services file is what is the bridge between the front end and the back end. Okay. And the DB file, like this, review DB, this is where we do the connection to the database and everything. You will understand that with the code just after. So maybe I will start with the services. Usually what I do is that I have the struct here. Okay, so in this case, it's review, right? And in the review, we have the unit, creation date, content, state type, rating overall, and so on. Basically, all the data that we have. Sorry, my connection is very slow. All the data that we have here, basically. Okay. And this is where it happens. Okay. So in Leptos, this is how it works. You have a server macro and you expose a function. So for instance, get reviews by home unit. Okay. Because you remind that here we are inside this home unit. Okay. And we want to the review only for this. And the way it works is something like this. So, my bad. So you have, so we are in services. So you have the function like this, okay, with app states, reviews. And here, as you can see, we are using review DB. So this is where the connection happens between the database and the front end. Because this function is used inside front end. I will show you that just after. And here in review DB, this is where it's used inside review DB like this. So this is here that the connection with the database work. Okay. And here we are just using what we have inside review DB. And this way we have a clear separation between what happens inside for the database directly and what happens also for the front end. If we look inside here, so here you notice that we are inside review DB. Maybe I will do that like this. It will be easier to understand. Okay, so here I also have a new struct. Okay, and I will explain also use this just after. It's also very important to keep in mind. But here, for instance, I was showing you the get review. I don't remember. It was this one. Get by home unit. Okay, so what we want is to have review by home unit. Okay. And the way it works is something like this. So, cool part also of Rust is that you can have SQL, raw SQL, let's say, but still you can have type safety with this. So it means that if I try to have something that doesn't exist inside the database, it will not work. So here, I will just reload. And if I do cargo check, features, SSR, as you can see, I close here, error from database, and this doesn't exist, okay? And this is very cool because you have type safety out of the box, and it's very, very cool to have. I just remove this. So it was type like this. And here is very simple. It's just basic SQL. Okay. It's just basic SQL. So nothing really complex. So if you already know SQL, that's very fine. And yeah, this is how it works. It was I prepared nothing. I just thought it was a cool idea to show you how it works very quickly. It was just more like an introduction about how it works. Maybe you're also curious about where I'm using this function. So I will just show you quickly because this is where it's used inside the frontend directly. Okay, so here in Leptos, we can define also components. And inside the components, we can use resources, okay? And here, we have a review resource, all reviews resource. And the way it works is that we have the services here, okay? So we have 3 layers. The first layer is the DB. Then you have the services. And then you have the components inside your application. And this is how it works. So yeah, just a general overview. Hopefully it was interesting for you. And I forgot also, maybe I will show you also this. I was telling you about homes PK or whatever PK. Usually what I do is this. So reviews PK because the issue is that if you just use unit like this, it's not types. Okay, so this is why also I have this file PK to have more type safety also for the unit. Okay, so if you look inside this, so very quickly, so it was Airbnb clone, I think. Where is it? Airbnb clone bootcamp, public, tables. So for the tables, it was reviews, so it must be home reviews. Okay. And inside home reviews, you can see that we have different units. And if you don't type this specifically, it must be a problem. It can be a problem in the long run. So this is why usually you have this, and this way you are more safe for this. Okay. So yeah, that's it for today. Not prepared at all. Hopefully it was not too unprepared. Tell me if you like this when I when I do videos without any preparation. Hopefully it was interesting for you. And last CTA, if you want to have more info about what we offer in Rustify, just go to that link. So full stack, we have also another bootcamp because if you are still here, I'm assuming that you are interested in using Rust in production. So we have also another bootcamp, blockchain, so you can also have other information about all of this. It was Max for Rustify. Thanks for your attention and see you next time.